Grab your cup. How long have you been tolerating something in your life? Tolerating it, dealing with it, ignoring it, perhaps, but knowing it's there, tolerating it. Like, do you remember the fairy tale, The Princess and the Pea? The princess slept on, I think it was 20 mattresses, and there was a pea underneath the very bottom mattress, and she could feel it. She could feel it all night long, and it interrupted her sleep. So we have things in our lives that are like that pea, and we tolerate them. To some degree, they're minor and irritating, and sometimes they're really big. It causes a lot of pain. But we keep tolerating, I think maybe as human beings, a lot of people do this. I know women, I am one, and I work with women primarily, and women are really good at this. Tolerating, making it good enough, dealing with it or ignoring it, and just having the fallout from ignoring it. So however that shows up in your life. So here's an example that I want to share with you, and then look at your life. But the example is my hip surgery. If you don't know, I just had hip replacement a couple weeks ago, and I have to get the other one done. And I have had hip pain since my late 30s, and I've tolerated it. And I've justified why I think I have the pain. So I was super active all the time. I did a lot of running. I did some triathlons, etc. And I would say, oh, I ran too much. I didn't stretch. Or I'm lifting weights that are too heavy. Or when I had my kids, I had an issue when I delivered my son. Or when my daughter was always in the hospital, I've been sitting too much. I always had a justification for why I had hip pain. And I did a lot of things to try to help it. I stretched, I rolled, I went to physical therapy, I went to the chiropractor, I had acupuncture, I changed my diet to get inflammation out. I went to an orthopedic doctor who gave me a prescription. I started to do different kinds of activity, yoga and other kinds of stretches. I took up swimming. I did everything that I could to try to be out of pain in my hips, but there was still pain. Finally, I went to a different orthopedic doctor a few months ago, and he said, you have hip dysplasia, congenital hip dysplasia. So your hips were formed incorrectly when you were born. So there was nothing that I was going to do that would make a difference. There was nothing that I could do. There was the root cause of my pain was a malformation in my hips. So the only thing that's going to get me out of pain is hip replacement, which is why I'm in that process now. So think about your life. When you're having a chronic source of pain and you tolerate it and you justify why that might be and you put up with it, and then maybe you do all the different things to do. If it's issues in your relationships, maybe you go to marriage counseling. Maybe you've gone to therapy yourself. If you struggle with anxiety and overwhelm and stress, maybe you've taken up yoga or you meditate. Maybe if it's health issues, you've changed your diet, you've done the supplements, you've gone to a nutritionist, and you still struggle. So the point of all this is doing the things and still struggling, and then rationalizing why that is. Because I did 3 decades. I'm going to be 60. My pain started in my 30s. That's almost 3 decades of tolerating physical pain in my body that I didn't need to tolerate. If I had known a long time ago, I would have had them fixed so that I wouldn't have had so many years of pain that limited my ability to move and how I wanted to be active. So in your life, if you have health issues and you're like, I'm taking the supplements, I'm doing this diet, I've seen that doctor, I've changed protocols. If it's in your job and it's like, it's too stressful, I can't keep doing this, and so you change jobs or you put in for a different position in your company, and there's still some level, there's still that pee under the mattress, and sometimes it's really painful, and sometimes it's more tolerable, but you just keep putting up with it. Here's the point of that. You have to get to the root cause. I was never going to get out of pain in my hips and my lower back without having hip surgery. All of the things that I did, and I made myself wrong a lot. Why can't I get better? Why am I doing all of these things and I still have pain? Because I wasn't addressing the root cause, which was my hips weren't formed right. Nobody caught it when I was a baby, but they're not formed right. So there was only one way to fix that, and that's getting to the root cause. There's only one way to fix your stress, your overwhelm, your patterns in your relationships. There's only one way, and it's getting to the root cause. And it's very difficult to get to your root cause if somebody doesn't actually know what to look for and know how to find that. So the second orthopedic doctor that I went to, the first one took x-rays, but he didn't tell me I had hip dysplasia. He said, here's a prescription. He gave me a prescription and said, let me know how you do. The second orthopedic doctor, within two minutes, said, you have hip dysplasia. You can keep treating it with medication, or we can actually fix it. So until someone actually uncovers and gives you the path to your root cause, you keep tolerating and staying in those patterns. You keep having terrible night's sleep, like the princess and the pea, trying to sleep on a pea, but she could feel it and couldn't sleep the whole night and woke up sore. Do you guys remember that fairy tale? Anyway, it takes the root cause addressing in order to really change anything, and that's what we do. And it doesn't matter how old you are. So I would have done my hips a lot sooner, even though I would have been really young for hip surgery. But with hip dysplasia, that's the only answer. I would have saved myself almost 3 decades of pain and changed how my health went, because it diminished my activity over time. I have a client right now who's 76 years old who's celebrating what she has uncovered in her root causes and how she looks back on her life and all of the ways that that issue showed up in her life and what she's going to create going forward. Because it's not a matter of I'm too old. As long as you have breath left in you, you have life left. And you can either live the life you have left finally out of pain, or you can keep living tolerating the pee under the mattress. If you want to have that partnership to uncover the root cause, let's get on the phone, let's have a conversation about it, and let's talk about the work that we can do together to help you move through. Get out of wherever the pain is showing up for you, health, relationships, your stress levels, anxiety, wherever it is, how we can help you move through that. So drop me a comment and I'll make sure that we connect. Have a good day.